Okay, so I've got the sewing machine that I'm gonna keep. That's gonna be my display piece. And I really, really like it. I'm gonna set the camera down here. So, I got the key, which I think is really cool that the key's still here. And this is just, I mean, it's just pretty. That's one of the reasons that I want to make sure and keep this one. And also, like I was saying, this one isn't really going to be one that would make a whole lot of sense to keep. Yep, old hand crank. Like I said, if anybody knows about the dates or anything, you know, I'm gonna do the research, but I figure there's probably some of my viewers that are like my Aunt Alpha. Oh, wow, look at that. I don't even have to do research. 1929. Nice. Number 99, Singer sewing machine. 36 Poplar Road. That's in Waynesville. And all the different presser foots and attachments. I just thought you guys might enjoy that. I know, you know me and Robert, we have a weakness for old vintage stuff. And actually I think this one passes the realm of vintage into actual antique. Very pretty. The Singer Manufacturing Company, manufactured in Great Britain. I mean, works flawlessly. And I thought that it was really cool that this is so complete. So the lid here, of course, like anything mechanical, you have to make sure and keep it oiled. And what do we have under the lid? But the handy dandy little oil can. So that's pretty cool. I don't care who you are. So as I get my shop built, like I said, I've got so much cool stuff that's either family stuff or stuff I've collected. And all around the inside of the shop, I'm gonna make shelves that are up high over the usable area to display all my stuff, because most of it's in boxes just for safekeeping. I'm looking forward to having it out where I can actually enjoy it and show it off, and even have, now I know what these are for. I can figure it out, and I've wanted to for a long time, but even have the button holder here for making all your little buttonholes and putting your buttons on. All right. So that's Erin's show sewing machine, and then the other one, the cool blue one. Well, both the cool blue ones, one my sister's going to keep, and I'm going to keep one. And so something else. Might probably throw these in my truck before my sister sees, because I'm not sure if she's really noticed these yet. She's laughing.
Yes, those are the ones I'm keeping.
These are old spools, and I know the reason she has them up in there is because these are the old wooden spooled thread, and that will get caught. Like you can see where it starts to chip out as they get older. And I know from sewing, you try and use these and they'll catch on the sewing machine. I'm sure when they were brand new, before they got chipped up a little bit and used, they probably worked real good. But they definitely look super cool in some old jars.
They do. It's one of my favorites.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Best Family Homestead. And today we are at the mountain farm. I came up here, visit mom and dad, but unfortunately not a very happy visit. My dad's sister, my Aunt Alpha, passed away rather unexpectedly last week. She had some complications with diabetes, but luckily it was peaceful, and you know, she didn't suffer at all. So she's in a better place now. And the reason I'm doing this video is because this is Chicken Puppy. And Chicken is one of the COVID rescue puppies that lived with us. He had went to a new home for I guess about 8 or 9 months, and then through no fault of his own, and the people, his new owners, were actually really upset. They had to, they could no longer have him, and so he came back to live with us. And Aunt Alpha, after she had retired, and she was looking for a companion dog, and Chicken, being the sweetest guy ever on the planet, I knew he would be a good fit, and so he's been up here for the past 7 or 8 months, living with her and keeping her company. And I think it was very good for her, and he was good for her, and a great dog. And I'm really, really glad that he got to spend the time with her, and he was there for her during her last few months. Well, now Chicken is going to come back to the homestead, and because he has, you know, not lived a hard life, but he has been bounced around a little bit, he's going to come home with his other siblings and crazies and finish out living his probably very long life down on the homestead with us. And he is just a silly boy. He doesn't really play. He is the sweetest dog you'll ever meet. This is his life right here. This is all he wants to do. He just wants to lay down and snuggle and be petted. Really smart and very attentive. And I'm probably going to work with him a lot with Copper as far as service animal training, because he is very, very attentive and very empathetic, and I think he would be very, very good at that. So I think he's going to get some of that training as well. We got to take him out in the truck. He doesn't ride real well. He's never really been in a car a whole lot, so we got to take him in and do a little work before we head back down in the car, especially because, you know, I've got Copper, so I'll make sure that I can get the two of them to behave and work on training with them a little bit while they ride in the truck. And we're gonna go do some training on lead and working around a little bit. So that's if I can get him to stop being silly and just wanting to be petted. And we are good boy. Put down. Good boy, Chicken Puppy. Yeah. Can you sit? Sit. Good boy. Thank you. Good boy. Come on, it's okay. Up. Good boy. Come on, scoot over. Scoot over. Good boy. Good boy. And we are down right now at the little house where my aunt had lived. My little sister is moving in here, so she's going to have a place of her own. And this house has been in the family. It was a little trailer a long time ago that was converted to a house. Really nice. You know, it's tiny, but really nice little place now. A lot of the stuff in here, you know, my dad built, you know, hand built Hoosiers. Papa Hugh built this. Turned out really nice. And so a little cluttered right now, but like I said, in the middle of moving. And one of the things I wanted to show everybody, kind of as a tribute to my aunt, which she would have never wanted to be on video or anything like that. She hated that kind of stuff. Was one of her passions that she loved was quilting. And we're going through the quilts right now so that we can make sure and get some up, you know, save some, or well, we're going to save all of them, but make sure that, you know, there's one or two for Aiden and a couple, everybody gets a couple. And these are all quilts that she's made over many years. Absolutely phenomenally beautiful. And all the quilting work that she has done, and she did, none of the quilts that she did were, you know, done on a machine or anything like that. Every piece of fabric in all these quilts was all cut by hand, you know, sewn together and pieced together by hand, and then put in a quilting frame and quilted by hand, and just I mean, just hundreds of hours in each one of these quilts. And so I wanted to share some of these with everybody. I mean, just absolutely beautiful. And like I was talking about in the live yesterday, the collection issues, the, you know, mom with her garden that's going to be this big, bigger, you know, me and my dad with cars and stuff like that. Well, my aunt loved quilting, and so this is not trash. This is all fabric. Lots and lots of fabric that she used to make quilts. There's also 7 or 8 quilts that are started that we're going to, you know, one day my mom said she might finish them. And I guess my Aunt Alpha, her cars were sewing machines, and she loved her sewing machines. When I say she loved her sewing machines, I'm not exaggerating. So these are all sewing machines that she has collected over the years. You know, her sewing table here, where she did a lot of her quilting and pieced everything together. Now I'm going to take 1 or 2 of the sewing machines, because I do sew as well. And I actually was the person I always called when I was making something, like, hey, how do you do this or that? A wealth of information. And so they're all going to find a good home where someone will use them. All the fabric is going to, and a lot of the quilting supplies are going to go to one of my cousins who lives down in Atlanta, and she does phenomenal quilts as well, and she makes a lot of quilts for charities, for premature babies and some charities. She quilts them and donates them to the charity. So all of Aunt Alpha's quilting stuff is going to be, you know, put to great use, and all of it's going to be used. None of it's going to be thrown away. So I just thought, in memory of Aunt Alpha, that's the thing that she would love to be remembered for more than anything. That's probably the only thing that she would want to have her name put on social media or anything for is for her quilt. So that's why I wanted to show off some of those.
It looks like something from her.
All right, so Mom came down and she was showing us some boxes I didn't get to see, but I wanted to throw another clip in here of some of the quilts that my grandma and my aunt have started over the years.
Oh, your grandma embroidered this one.
And like I was
back in the
saying, these
60s.
talking about all done by hand. You know, all these quilts are pieced, and each piece is sewn on one at a time, and cut and patterned and ironed and sewn, and then sewn together, and then put with batting and put on the quilt rack and quilted. It's really insane the amount of time that goes into a big handmade quilt. My grandma, when she used to quilt and had all her quilting ladies, all family and people, they would put the quilt in a big quilt rack, and there would be 7 or 8 of them, and 7 or 8 of them sitting around this quilting rack for a couple weeks.
Gossiping.
Yeah, talking and gossiping. So you figure 8 people, 8 hours a day times 7 to 15 days, just to quilt one quilt. But all this, every single piece cut.
Look at this one.
Starts out like this. Every single little piece cut and then pinned together and sewn. So that all these little pieces end up like that.
Just blocks and blocks and blocks of them.
Yeah.
Maybe
Erin doesn't have that much patience to do quilting.
You look at that one. That would be pretty.
Imagine that, like all these little squares sewn together. Very, very pretty, and I'm glad I've got plenty of the quilts to keep for years down the road.
Great big, huge piece. And Alpha always loved brights.
So, I don't think I mentioned why Chicken Puppy is named Chicken Puppy. Well, as you can tell, he is just a sweet dog, very chill, even when he was a puppy. Never wanted the dogs. All the other puppies would be crazy and playing, and he would be kind of in a corner all by himself and get scared when they got all loud and rambunctious. And he's always been a big chicken. We'd take him out to play in the yard when he was little, and he would be scared and stay right under your feet, and so everybody'd always be like, don't be a chicken, come on, don't be a chicken, you're such a big chicken. Chicken stuck. He probably doesn't deserve the name anymore, but he became known as the Chicken Puppy, and even though he's 2 years old, he's still the Chicken Puppy. Aren't you, Chicken Puppy? Thank you. Thank you. What a good boy. So, he's coming back to my collection. The best family home has homestead. A place for the wayward, lost, and unwanted. Even though chicken is not unwanted. All right, everybody. So, I showed you all the closet full of sewing machines, and I said I wanted to pick one. I started opening them and going through them, and some of these are unbelievably cool. My sister's going to keep 1 or 2. I'm going to keep 1 or 2, and the rest we're going to sell because now that my little sister is a homeowner. She's doing homeowner things. she's finding out. But one of the things with this house, for some reason, the well that this house is on, this one area, has a lot of sulfur in it, and you can smell it. It ruins clothes, a lot of iron, and there is a spring, a very, very sweet spring that is up in the field. If you look up there, you see where those bushes are, and it runs all the time, and it's really good water. but there needs to be a reservoir built and a pump, and it needs to be piped down here. So, you know, it'll be pretty expensive. And honestly, obviously, how are we going to use this many sewing machines? So she's going to sell the remaining sewing machines to try and fund being able to get good clean water down here, which is important. And so I thought this would interest a lot of my viewers, and if you're interested in any of them, let me know. We haven't, you know, done the research. I don't know that much about old antique sewing machines, so if you do know anything or see one that you want or that you know something about, drop me a line and let me know, and we'll go from there. So, to the fun part. So, she's a little bit mad at me. You might hear grumbling in there a little bit, because this cool one right here is the first one I opened the lid to when I was trying to look at which one I wanted. And this is so cool. Just the color, an old white sewing machine. These are all heavy. And the one thing my aunt did is every single one of these she picked up over the years, she took them to a repairman and that lived down here, and every single one of these work. They have all the pieces because she spent a lot of money making sure that they all work. This was her hobby. So this is the one that I'm going to keep and probably use. Good heavy duty little sewing machine there. Most of these are all Singers and whites, and I'm just going to zoom in on each one of them so you can see. Now all the tops are with these. Like I said, these are all complete. Pedals, you know, everything is functional. That is one thing I am sure of, because she spent a lot of time and money making sure that all these were functional. Even with the bags. This one's really cool too. And when I say really cool, you know, I just go off aesthetics. But I would say she probably used all these. She used different ones for different things. This one's really pretty. Modern electric. Chicken puppy. This one I don't even have to know for the date. This one you can tell circa early 60s, late 50s. That baby diarrhea green that it seemed like was so prevalent during that era. This one I think my sister's keeping. She did say you can't have both of the blue ones. So, because I opened this one too, I'm like, oh wow. She came in and she goes, you can't have both of those. So this is another rotary electric, super zigzag.
Chicken boy.
You can see all of these are in really good shape. Here's another old Singer, look at that model 301A. Got all the foot pedals, everything with them. This one I'm sure is fairly old, and one thing I thought was interesting about this sewing machine is the box. Even though the box for this was covered in leather, you can see that it was still dovetailed. So they didn't just skimp on, you know, the box, they were covering it. Even the box was covered in leather. That's pretty cool. People don't take pride in the workmanship like that anymore. Here's another older Singer, and this one is electric. This one, you can see all the foot pedals are in the boxes where they belong. I don't want to break anything by not knowing how to get them out. And they all have the lids and the keys. All right, so the easiest way I thought that I could put these so that people could, pardon the interruption, the easiest way that I could set these out so that you could let me know if you were interested in any of them or knew anything about them. I set all the ones here that we are not keeping out, and so we'll just go from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. So you can reply and say how much for number 8 or number 4, whatever, whichever one it is. And I'm going to pan real quick over all of them and show you what they are. Like I said, doing this to help my sister out and make sure that they go to good homes. And I know most all my viewers are great people. You guys have helped me out a lot already, and I know that they'll find good homes if anyone might want one. So this is number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4, number 5, and inside the bag there is the foot pedal. That one's actually very, very pretty as well. Go back here and say number 6, number 7, and number 8. And that one is a really pretty cool looking sewing machine as well. Alrighty guys, like I said, I'm no sewing machine expert, but they need a good home, and the money from that will be put to a good use. So let me know. And now we're going to pack these things back up and put them back in the closet, which I'm really kind of surprised, just honestly, that that whole closet hasn't fallen through the floor of this house, because these things are heavy. I mean, these things must be 50 pounds each. They are ridiculous. There's a lot of weight in there in that closet. Alright guys, well, time to get chicken ready to go, and probably be heading back to the homestead here in a few minutes. And I just wanted to show you guys a little bit of this and a little tribute to my Aunt Alpha. And we got to get Chicken Puppy home. Alright, well, see you in a few minutes.